Hey everybody, here we go. It's me, Gregory Mannarino. Friday, March 14th, 2025, pre-market report. Let's start off with this. Stock futures right now are higher. Don't think that it means what we're seeing here in the market is over. If you happen to take just a minute and review what I wrote with regard to my breakdown of the S&P 500, this is free to everybody. There is a link in the description of this video. You can read through what I did last night, breaking down what's happening here with the S&P 500 or the broader market. Read my conclusion at the bottom, and you will see that what's happening today really may just be a bounce leading to yet another fall. I'm not saying that we're crashing, okay? I do not believe that's happening. I see a normal correction here happening. Doesn't mean it's over either. You could still have significant losses in the market with a correction. People aren't used to seeing this. I mean, you turn on Fox Business, CNBC, Bloomberg. These people don't know what to do with themselves. We have not seen or had a normal correction in this market for as far back as you literally want to go. It's been nothing but debt on top of more debt, and we got to talk about that. We got an interesting take on what's happening from the lovely Mafia Fund, the International Mafia Fund, the IMF, International Monetary Fund, obviously. So anyway, look, man, that's what's going on here. This looks like a bounce to me, a technical bounce. So don't go jumping in here and going all in on this market. You want to dabble around, you want to play, okay, I got that. But I would not be putting any real cash to work in this market just yet. Again, read what I wrote about at least my take on what's happening with regard to the market. It's too long to go over here. It's very easy to just understand my conclusion. Again, link in the description of this video. So with that, stock futures are higher, lovely, and fantastic. People, look, the issue with the debt market, it's not going away yet. We still have this yo-yo action in the 10-year yield, clearly instability. Could this lead to a meltdown? Eventually, we're going to get there. I just don't see it happening right now. What I believe we're going to see here, people, is more easy money. That's all the market cares about, and that's possibly why the market, may hold where we are right now and eventually go higher over the next week or so. We got to take this in step by step or stage by stage. You understand? Without more easy money, on the back of, again, artificially suppressed rates, which we keep hearing about. We need lower rates. We need lower rates, and the Fed, they're gonna do it. Look, hold that thought because we got to talk a little more about that. So, ongoing instability with the debt market. It's not so bad. I'll let you know when I think it's really bad. Now, this, in my opinion, is just gruesome. I'm talking about the dollar. The U.S. dollar, people, I've been telling you for weeks, it's screaming, I am becoming irrelevant. I am becoming irrelevant. And one more time, I am becoming irrelevant. That's what the dollar is telling us here. We should not be seeing this kind of action. This morning yet again. We are at a critical level. We're below a critical level. The Dixie here, or the relative dollar strength, 104 is a critical level. If we fall, well, more than this, this is not looking too promising right now. We could see a dollar free fall much lower. The dollar is telling us we got a problem. And after you're going to hear what I'm going to read to you in a moment from the IMF, you're going to know exactly what I'm talking about. Gold and silver, people. All right, man, this is where you need to be. Commodities. I'm going to tell you this again. Use every single opportunity that you can to add to your stashes of gold and especially silver in this environment. People, how do I say this another way to you? The United States is being systematically taken down, piece by piece by piece by piece. We sincerely should be adding gold and silver to our U.S. strategic reserve, but that's not what's happening. President Trump, as you all know, just signed an executive order to add cryptocurrencies to our strategic reserves. This is a mistake on an epic scale, okay? On a scale that, again, President Trump is probably the greatest real estate investor and developer in the modern era. With regard to economics and finance, in my opinion, the man doesn't have the slightest clue as to what's happening here. I understand. Let's bring back manufacturing. Sounds great. It's a no-brainer. Is it going to happen? The world economy is contracting at its fastest pace in history. The U.S. economy is cratering. There are a few companies that have pledged to bring manufacturing back here. Hasn't happened yet. But again, the grander picture is President Trump really does not understand economics and finance at all. He's not a businessman. We've discussed this many, many times. He is a real estate investor, real estate developer, probably one of the best in the modern era. That's his claim to fame. He doesn't understand anything else. I'm sorry. If you don't want to accept that, I know the truth is a hard pill to swallow. Here we go. Cryptocurrency is doing pretty well this morning. Okay, lovely and fantastic. Now let me just this is almost funny in a way. It's sad, but it's funny. So, headline from this morning: the UK economy is unexpected. Nobody saw this coming. Is shrinking. Let me explain this to you maybe another way. The entire global economy is shrinking, and you know that. We've been covering it over and over and over again. If they're letting you know, they can't cover it up anymore. You understand? It's a game that's happening here. My friends in the UK, Eurozone, wherever you live in this world, in a so-called modern economy, living under the rulership of a central bank, you're done. Central banks are going to destroy us all. The middle class is being eradicated. It's being erased. And America, by the way, is being wiped off the map. And the dollar here is clearly sending us a message that is happening here. It's unfortunate, very unfortunate, but not unforeseen. I mean, all the stuff you and I have been covering for as far back as you want to go really points to exactly what we're talking about here. The relevance of the United States on the world stage. What's happening here? Let me say this another way to you guys and girls. This economic war, and we are at war. This is a global war. In case you know what this is, like I said 10 million times. People need to see blood to believe we're in a war. This is how dumbed down people have become now. People are suffering. You are a casualty of this war. Wherever you live in the world will be a casualty of this economic war, with a global economy shrinking at its fastest pace ever, global debt skyrocketing at its fastest pace ever. And we're going to cover that in just a second with this IMF report. Anyway, with uncertainty growing economic risk for the Fed to weigh. What does this tell you? The Federal Reserve is going to cut rates. Okay, President Trump wants lower rates. Elizabeth Warren, the illustrious, beautiful creature, Warren, and of course, Bessent. Let's talk about Bessent real quick, our illustrious U.S. Treasury Secretary. It's a tough job. I get it. The U.S. Treasury Secretary does one thing, peddles debt to the world. Imagine being a peddler of U.S. debt. Please buy our debt. Our economy is strong. Him blowing off yesterday it was that we're not going into recession. Don't worry about it. Our economy is so strong. Make it up. But again, the guy's got a tough job. All right. He's got to peddle debt to the world. That's the job of the U.S. Treasury Secretary. The world ain't buying, man. The world ain't buying, especially in this environment where the United States is becoming irrelevant. I want to read this to you. International Monetary Fund. This is 4 bullet points from the IMF. Are you ready for this? Look, man, the truth is always hidden in plain sight. Now imagine for a second if CNBC, Bloomberg, Fox Business, a politician would tell you this. Well, they're not going to, but Greg is. So the International Monetary Fund, number 1. This is from 2024, their latest data. We have nothing from 2025. So just I want you to understand that. Record high debt. Global debt reached a record high of $318 trillion in 2024, the end of 2024. Nothing new, as I said. Global debt to GDP ratio now has increased to 328%. Once you go over 95%, it begins a downward spiral, and we are at 328%. Increase in debt. Global debt increased over, this is the best part. Pay attention to this here. Global debt increased by over 12 trillion in the first 3 quarters of 2024, not even including the last quarter. This is the fastest pace of debt growth on record. Wait a minute. Someone around here has been telling you this has been going on. Yeah. And we all know this, man. Here's the last bullet point here. Economic growth slowdown. Again, the truth is always hidden in plain sight. World economic growth is slowing. Oh, really? With developed nations like the United States having to borrow just to pay interest on the debt, which is contributing to the increase. So let's see. The truth is always out there, man. So we're having to borrow just to pay interest on the debt. This is how bad it is. Like I said yesterday, things are way worse than we actually are being allowed to know. But again, what else would you expect in this dystopian environment here? You can't make this stuff up. You know, do you remember the back and forth escapade between President Trump and Zelensky? You don't have the cards. You don't have the cards. That's what President Trump was saying here to Zelensky. We don't have the cards either, and the world knows it. We have the debt peddler, Besant, begging people to buy U.S. debt. We have the Mar-a-Lago Accord, which is nothing but a debt restructuring scheme to empower the Federal Reserve, just so you know. And of course allow us to expand on our debt, for which we can't even pay the interest on, according to the IMF, without having to borrow. And who's more than willing to lend here? Federal Reserve. Do you see what's happening here? Again, people are being duped. I don't know how many, what's going on here with you, other YouTubers with the same narrative last time. That Trump's getting rid of the Fed. It's getting rid of the Fed. Oh! I mean, I'm calling all of them out, just like I did last time, man. They're all wrong. The Fed is going to be much stronger than it is now. At the end of Trump's this tenure, he's doing everything he can to empower the Fed by allowing the Federal Reserve now, well, cryptocurrency, to have access to the Federal Reserve's national banking system here that we have here, their payment system, making the Fed stronger. This is their goal, to have access to that. You know it. President Trump signs an executive order. Okay, here we go. Let's make the Fed stronger. And this Mar-a-Lago Accord, allowing those who buy who own these 100-year bonds to borrow from the Fed against the bond for next to zero. You think that makes the Fed stronger? Yeah, it does. Everything is in place now to make the Fed stronger. They are going to, again, and they are our overlords. Don't listen to me. Listen to the IMF. We can't even pay the interest on our debt anymore. And that's the reason behind the peddler, Besant, and for the Mar-a-Lago Accord. Look at the names that they use here. Must be great. Mar-a-Lago Accord. It's some kind of agreement. No, it's a debt restructuring scheme that's going to empower the Federal Reserve. They're laughing at you. See, they laugh in your face. And this is laughter right in your face. But you and me, what are we doing? We're taking action against it, people. We're betting against the debt, becoming our own central banks, as we've been doing for over 10 years. Okay? Add to your holdings of gold, especially silver. And yes, I also believe cryptocurrencies as well. I bought more Bitcoin yesterday. You all know that. And this dollar issue, it's screaming at us, people, that we have a problem. Do you think we should listen? Anyway, all right, guys and girls, I hope you're getting something out of these videos. If you are, I want to hear from you. If I've earned you a thumbs up, please give me one here. Let's get this stuff out there. Let people understand what's actually going on, not the nonsense, the deceptions, the look here. It's an incredible thing. We could potentially take Panama by military force. Meanwhile, just a few weeks ago, we found out that President Trump brokered a deal for BlackRock, of all companies, to buy ports in Panama. That was supposed to help us, but now it's a deception. I believe the greatest theft in the history of the world is occurring right now under our noses here. Look here, everyone. Look at what we're going to do to Panama, or maybe we're going to get Greenland. I got everybody talking about it. They want you to look there. That tells you something else is going on, man. When are people going to wake up? I know you get it. When are the masses going to wake up? I don't think they're capable of waking up anymore. I think they've they're done. I really think they're completely done. All right, look, love you all from the heart with all I got. I mean that. I'll see you later. 4 or 5 p.m. Eastern for the live stream, and we got this, people. We really, really do, right? That's all.